Hello everybody, Everyman Prepping here with you tonight, and we're going to talk about the new drone attacks on Moscow. In fact, I'll put up some footage here you can watch as we go through this beginning part. And about a month ago, there was the first drone attack. Two drones made it through the Moscow air defense, made it all the way to the Kremlin. One didn't explode, one made it over a domed building and exploded. There wasn't real damage or anything. And, the only response from Russia at that time was a little heightened missile attack the next day. Nothing too great. It's another red line that was crossed, according to Russia, and not much response. So what's behind this attack? We're going to see what Russia says. What does Ukraine say? Some possibilities of why this happened or what could be achieved by doing this. We're going to talk about all that stuff. So let's get a little bit of the background of this and get into the rest of that. As you can see these videos going on here. But this says here, it was the first attack on the capital that hit civilian areas. It says here the Kiev regime launched a terrorist attack. They're saying that because it only hit civilian areas. They attacked with unmanned aerial vehicles in the city of Moscow. Here you can see one of the buildings. This is an apartment building. You can see some debris hit here. They said they shot them all down with the Panzer S air defense system. If it did happen, and this wasn't a drone strike, this was probably after it was hit out of the sky and the debris just landed on this building, caught a little fire. They said no one died, just some injuries and damage to the building. It said back here, 5 of the drones were shot down by the Panzer S air defense, and the other three were taken down by electronic countermeasures, meaning they landed elsewhere. As I showed you earlier in the other video while I was doing the intro, you probably saw some explosion on the dirt. Maybe that one was hit by the electronic warfare and it crashed in a dirt field somewhere. I don't know. But that's what we have here as the initial assessment. And then let's go into some talk from the Kremlin. This is Dmitry Peskov, who's the spokesman for the Kremlin. And what he said here, it is clear that we're talking about the response of the Kiev regime to our very effective strikes on one of the decision-making centers. So official word from the Kremlin is this is Ukraine's response to a missile attack on a decision-making center, the Intel building that was in Kiev. So that's the official word coming out from the Russian standpoint as to what this is. We're going to get Putin's opinion in a minute. As we go through all this, please like, comment, and share this video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. This Peskov guy also said that the attack once again confirms the need to continue the military operation in Ukraine until the goals are achieved. So then this highlights a second possibility. That why it's happening could be false flag. A lot of people are putting that out. Russia did this to themselves in order to, give them and their people the right to go after Ukraine more. It says here once again this confirms the need to continue the military operation. So, well, if they false flagged it, this just gives them more reason to go to the Russian citizens and say, hey, see, this is why we need to continue this operation because they're going to keep attacking us. This is why we started it back February of last year and why we need to continue going out with it now because they're just going to come after us. It's not the first time a country has attacked itself to either start a war or prolong a war. And, I'm sure you can think of a couple examples of that yourself. Once again, 8 drones. Let's go to what Putin is saying here. Now, Putin says here, the main goal of such strikes is an attempt to intimidate the Russian citizens. This could be another reason. Who would want to intimidate them? Would it be Ukraine wants to intimidate the Russian citizens? Do they just want to strike fear to maybe have their government pull back because they don't want their city attacked? Could be a third party. Could be NATO, the United States, the European Union, guerrillas, the ones that went into Belgorod. They could be doing this. Then that begs the question: where are they getting this? All these drones from? Who's supplying them? It's Ukraine, United States. I don't know. They look like they're home built, not the home built. The Ukrainian built ones doesn't look like they're U.S. or NATO supplied. In fact, they look like almost civilian aircraft, like single engine aircraft flying around up there, and they sound like it if you listen to some of the video. But anyway, back to this. They're saying they're trying to intimidate the Russian people. Could be a possibility. It could be another situation that happened. Now, he goes on to say, unlike Ukraine, which has been targeting residential buildings, they say, that Moscow only strikes military targets, such as ammunition dumps, fuel depots, with high-precision weaponry. Well, We know that's not true. I mean, the entire city of Bakhmut was leveled to the ground. We know lots of civilian places have been targeted and destroyed by the Russians. So we know that's BS right there. So the statement above about they're trying to intimidate the citizens could be the same thing. But anyway, that's just another. So we have false flag, intimidation, response for attacking a intel center in Kiev. Could be a third party just trying to stir up trouble and make Russia want to heighten up and respond to this. I'm amazed Russia hasn't responded to this. I mean, the first one they kind of just blew it off. The little higher missiles. There's been a lot of red lines crossed by Russia, and they really haven't done much. I mean, imagine if 8 drones flew into Washington, D.C., say from Cuba up the coast into Washington, D.C., even though they're all taken down. You would hope the response to the United States would be, we're going to go carpet bomb Cuba, we're taking them out, shock and awe, all that stuff. Not sure the current administration would do that, but you would think that would be the response. But that doesn't seem to be getting out of Russia, so why? Do they just want to preserve Ukraine as much as possible, not destroy the infrastructure, not take down a lot of the cities and the civilians? Is that what they're trying to do? Or is there something else they're doing? They're just being very lax about it, if you ask me. I'm surprised the water, the electricity, the lighting, the power, the food, the rails. I'm surprised all that works in Ukraine. You would think they would have taken that all out to speed this up. But maybe they're trying to preserve it, so if they take it over, they don't have to rebuild. I don't know. Put in the comments below what you think. Why do the Russians have such a weak response? A lot of the Russian bros will say, well, they're weak. They're afraid. They can't. They're just inept. They can't figure it out. Put it in the comments below what you think. Anyway, they asked Putin also, so what do you think about how'd your anti-aircraft do? And he said that he thought that the anti-aircraft defense fared okay in repelling the attack, but he admitted there was still room for improvement. So what is this room for improvement he's talking about? I'll leave these play in case you didn't watch them all fully last time. Then we'll take them off so we don't get a copyright strike. But so why was it just okay? Well, because maybe some of the drones got all the way into Moscow. Should they have been taken out before they even got that far? Should they have been taken out so they didn't fall into civilian apartment buildings and injure people? Is that what he's unhappy with? I don't know. But one thing that makes it hard is in Ukraine, all of Ukraine, especially over Kiev, if it flies, it dies. If anything's flying in the sky, Ukraine's going to shoot it down. Well, you can't do that in Moscow. They've got civilian. They got regular planes, cargo planes. They got civilian planes for just passenger traffic. They've got helicopters. They got civilians flying their own aircraft. If you just start shooting it all, you're gonna have to close airspace over Moscow, which is gonna hurt them incredibly financially. Let's take these down here. So that'll kill them economically. If you close the airport and the airspace over Moscow, could that be a reason this was done to hurt to try to make Moscow close their airspace, really impact them economically? Maybe, but that's why I said it needs to improve. They need to figure out a way to keep the airspace open. This is my thought of what Putin's thinking, that keep the airspace open, but still be able to take these drones out before they come in as far as they did. That's probably something to do with radar detection, because you don't want to shoot a passenger aircraft out of the sky. You don't want to shoot a private aircraft out of the sky, because that's going to hurt you in the homeland. That's going to hurt you with your citizens that you do that. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I expect a big response from Russia on a lot of things. A lot of lines in the sand have been crossed. I mean, when this war started back February of last year, if you would have told me then what's going on now with everything, the drone attacks on Kremlin, and you can still go to Kiev, and kids are walking around like nothing's going on. They're going to school, restaurants are open, bars, nightclubs. If you told me all that was going on, why Moscow was taking drones, I wouldn't have believed it. I thought there had been, like I said earlier, no lights, no water, no power, no food, no rail, no phone, no cell phone, all that, no internet, all that would be taken out, and it hasn't. So we'll have to see. Like I said earlier, put in your comments below, why hasn't Russia done that? Are they going to? Is that some kind of strategic plan? I don't know. But that's what I have for you tonight. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground, head on a swivel.